All right, cool. Well, I had a few words. How you guys doing? I'm Brad Alkazin. I'm glad I could make it up tonight with Carly and Dana to just kind of add a few thoughts and hopefully share my story and my experience with vemma because I've been involved the longest here. So I could tell you, a lot about the product. I could tell you a lot about the company. A lot about the owner, BK Barreco, but more what it can do for you. Really what it can do for all of us right now in this economy that we're all in. And I just encourage a lot of people. We just came from an event at UC Riverside, and a lot of young people were there, and they're fired up and excited about this because when you stop and look around and you look in the economy, it's tough. I mean, people are out there hurting. More on the financial side, obviously. People are losing their jobs. Companies are closing down. Pay cuts are happening. So it's forcing people, especially in our age group, the younger market is forcing especially a lot of younger people to look at other things to do to make money. And that's why we're so excited why you're here tonight. Someone obviously invited you here because they think you would do well. They think you, one, might like the product, but two, would actually do well with this. And I tell people if it's not the right fit, no hard feelings. We're not here to push people or make it weird, but obviously when people kind of hear the whole story and they see the product and the concept, you get pretty excited because this thing is actually really working and it's working very well. Well, real quick, I've been involved, again, about 6 years come January, and my life changed about a year and a half ago. I live in San Diego in Carlsbad, and basically got a phone call from a guy in Temecula who I got on vemma, which is the main product, and he had unbelievable results. His blood pressure went down, older guy named Marty, and a good friend of mine. Long story, Marty had gotten a friend in Ohio on vemma, same story, guy's blood pressure and cholesterol leveled out pretty well, and he was ecstatic about the health side of it. And then he called me one day and he said, hey, my son goes to Arizona State, and I think he could do something with this Verve thing. And I'm like, all right. Well, I never really, saw anybody in a college setting take Verve and do anything with it. I said, all right, well, I'll be in Phoenix in a couple weeks. I said, maybe I'll meet up with him and kind of tell him my whole story and the product and how it works, and I can help him maybe make it take off if he wants to do it. So I sat down with this guy, Alex. I don't know if you guys saw in the video, but basically sat down with Alex and for about 30 minutes for lunch, man, and I told him my whole story. And the product and the concept, and he got so excited. He got fired up about this as a way to make money, to start his own business, like Carly's talking about, something she saw graduating college, her friends weren't getting the jobs they wanted. So the two things I remember Alex said to me, he said, number one, if I like the product, my friends will. So it made sense to me. I'm like, and that made sense if we like it, something we talk about to our friends, it's typically, it catches on pretty quick. And number two, that he's like, if I'm making money in it, my friends will want to do it. And so it really triggered in my head, if I just help him become successful, maybe $1,000 a month or something, he could take it and really grow and go far with it. And the two things I emphasized to him, and I'll share in a second. Number one, I showed him the numbers, because if you understand the numbers to the business, you're like, man, I could do that. That's actually really doable and very realistic within a short time frame. But number one, number two, I said, if you follow these steps, bro, if you follow these steps, I promise you, you're going to make it happen. You're going to make this thing work. Well, that's exactly what happened. At ASU, he was the first guy at a university. I actually had some time. Dana, we've been working at Dartmouth, and Carly's got friends at Arkansas. Well, he got 16 friends on board from May of 11 to May of 12, and it's turned into over 3,000 orders of Verve shipping out in his group in the last year. That happened about that in 1 year. He's at about 4,000 now in about a year and a half. And so, and he's 22, making about 5 G's a week. So he's become this huge success story in this company. And I mean, a lot of people try to measure how that really is. And I'm like, well, last year as a company, vemma is a $100 million company, privately owned. So I mean, obviously that's a big part of our story, that this young guy was able to become such a big success story. And I can tell you why that happened, why he's become an example, or what happened and how that went down. Number one, if you saw in the video, it talks about it, Carly hit on it, 55% of kids our age, young people, are unemployed. It's a big issue. It's all over the news, all over the media. It's I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but it's like the big elephant in the room we don't want to talk about. And right now, one out of two of my friends can't find a decent job. And I just think about that in the blatant statement of everybody. Think about, all the kids graduating UC Riverside, or different colleges. Obviously some of you guys are from different areas as well, so different schools. So think about that and step back and go, whoa, what am I going to do come graduation? Number two, why I think so many young people responded well to Alex, why they're responding well to many of us that are on board, is because now student loans are now the #1 debt in America. If you guys read up on it, I'm not here to say don't go to school. I'm telling you, you probably have a higher probability of success with this being in school. Why? Because I think you're around a lot of young people. You can use it as a vehicle to introduce this to people. You're open-minded, you're learning, you're coachable, so you're really open to being able to make something like this actually happen. And my point being is that, but now student loans are the number one debt. Many of my friends are basically 2 degrees, 50, 60 G's in student loans, man, and they can't find a good job. So they feel stuck, frustrated, and again, you want to maybe look at something like this ahead of that. And then lastly, it sucks, and hear me out, I'm not here to put anybody down, but it's not the best working for $10 an hour. I know more than anybody, it's not that fun. $10 an hour, 20 hours a week is 2 times 4 is 800 after taxes. You get 6, maybe $700. So the thing I talked to Carly, Dana, and others, I'm like, how do you pay for all the things you need to pay for? Bills, car, phone, gas, insurance, food, things like that. Let alone you want to go out on a weekend and have a good time, you want to go on a date. I mean, where do you have the money for that, So the point is you really can't, do a whole lot. And logically, I explain to people, you can't work 300 hours a week. It's just not humanly possible, number one. Number two, people go, oh man, I need a better job. And it's like, look around. The job market is just not that great. So the concept of tonight that we're really talking about around Verb and this vemma concept is you can start your own business. You can learn how to make money. It's very easy to do, but you need the right vehicle to do that. And that's really what we're excited about here with Verb and vemma. And on the flip side of why it works so well for Alex is that Dr. Oz recently recommended Verb on his show. He's recommended vemma in numerous magazines. He's been our keynote speaker at our convention, 4 out of 6 conventions, hence why Carly got on board and kind of why we're here tonight. But the point is he had it on the show, recommended it. You can go on droz.com, search Verb, and it says protein punch for the day. You hit that and the video comes up of that day, and you'll see Verb on the table and talks about it. So in my world, that was a big deal. I'm not a master of health and fitness, but I think if he recommends it, that's pretty credible. And I explain to people that I talk to or I meet that they don't know about it because it's not in stores. And logically think here, you guys, if Verb was in retail, if it was a store product, why would I get it from you? See, why would you get it from a friend if you could buy it on the way to class? So if this was a retail product or a retail concept, it would kill the whole idea for us. Number one. Number two, as a consumer, I wouldn't buy it anyway. Dude, you don't even know what that is. Likely that you're not going to probably buy something you don't know what it is. I always buy the same smart water, the same gum, same chips. I don't think it's going to sell in that market with all the energy drinks on the shelf, Red Bull, Rockstar, Monster, all the big ones that we all know. I don't think it would even sell because you don't know what it is. So it's really that direct contact. That's what you get credit for in this. You get credit for getting someone the product or in the business and whatever they do as well, which is neat because then you have an interest to help them succeed. And that's how the business actually grows. So the first step I did with Alex, I said, look, bro, you got to try it. If you like it, great. If not, it's not for you, bro. No hard feelings, man. But if you try it and like it, most people tend to love the taste. They like how they feel. People really have an emotional attachment to the product. So number one, then again, the credibility and recognition coming out is exciting. Number two, when I stressed with Alex those two things, I said, number one, bro, if you see the numbers and you follow the method. Well, overall, in the numbers of how this works, it's pretty simple. You build 2 teams, a left team and a right team. So let's say you and I went to school together, right? And you grew up out here?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you grew up here in Victorville, and we went to school together, and we got 4 friends on board here in Victorville, right? So I've got 5 orders of the product going out on one side, my left side. And your app tracks it. It's pretty neat, your website and everything. You can see it on your app. And then Dana's over at Dartmouth. He got 4 of his boys on board. He's going to school there. And basically, so 5 orders on one side, 5 on the other. Basically, at that point, 10 below you in the business, orders or accounts, I guess, in a sense, it means you're making around $200 a month. At that point, at least you're paying for your product and you're making a little bit of money. So ideally, I help people do that right off the bat, like their first week, first few days, some in a day. Why? Because if you do it quick, psychologically, if you're not putting any money into it, you're not out anything. And that's a good feeling. It'd be kind of like owning a business and you haven't had any money to have to invest. From that standpoint, I think you feel positive about it, and then you grow and grow and grow. Step 2 in that, in the numbers, 55 orders in your team. So let's say the same situation, we got 4 of your buddies on board, or our friends that we grew up with, and all 5 got 7 people on board each. So I'm working to help you guys and grow and grow. Same thing with Dana, 4 guys got on board at his school, 5 people, and then they all got 4 each. So 20 and 35, that combination and your team, and basically in a Cliff Notes or in a Spark Notes version, you're making $600 to $700 a month in the business. So what's neat about that is I've got young people that are doing that in 2 to 3 to 4 weeks. And what's exciting is that if you're in school or whatever, you can pretty much get out of your part-time work. So what could this do for us tonight? Get you out of your part-time job. That would be step one. Or get your product paying for itself, get to that point. Many people have done that very quickly. And then you can double that up to Diamond. Basically Diamond is 70 and 40. 7 friends got 10, 4 friends get 10. Doesn't matter vice versa how it works. The app tracks it all. At that point, you're making around $1,200 to $1,500 a month. And then you can go get a 3 series and then pay your payment. So we're pretty excited because young people, just specifically Verve, are following these numbers. I had a young guy in LA. I could give you a list of people that have done it in less than 30 days. Many young people are around 30, 60, 90 days. It took me 8 months. So keep in mind here the time frame and the model, because I showed Alex the numbers, and I think you get the gist of that in a sense, and you can see it. But when you see the step process, the model's working, and